And yes, indeed, you're very welcome along into this evening's On the Ball here on WLR. We're going to start with Gaelic Games because this weekend sees the start of the Waterford Senior Hurling Championship. 4 games down for decision, and it all gets underway on Friday night when defending champions Ballygunner begin their bid for 7 county titles in a row. They take on Tallow at 7:30 in Fairfield. And delighted to welcome back to the programme now, that's Chairman of the County Board, Sean Michael O Regan. Sean, many thanks for taking our call. It seems like a while since we've chatted, but good to have you back on the show.
Thanks, Gavin. Thanks for that. Yes, it is. It's quite a long time, actually, it seems, since we've had talks and GA activity. But thankfully, we're heading in the right direction. And but yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, it certainly has. Challenging for everyone. And I suppose, Sean, you wouldn't have foreseen this as your first stint, of course, as chairman of the board as well. I suppose it hasn't been easy from your side. But look, it's good to be back into planning games, etc. I know there was divisional action there the weekend, and with the flagship Senior Hurling Championship now kicking off on Friday night.
Yeah, you're right. That's been said to me quite a lot, actually, in the last couple of months. A couple of months into your first year as chairman, nobody foresee this, Gavin, for sure. And look, well, it's been extremely stressful, and it has been stressful for everybody, not just myself as chairman. But we've got a good team around us, and I suppose now would be the time to say, a sincere thanks to everybody in the GA family, in the GA world in Waterford, and even further afield that has helped us out over a very, very difficult 4 months. It's been extremely difficult. It's hard to believe it's 4 months now with no activity, but yet at the same time there's been an awful lot of activity going on. But so each of all our county board officers that are very hard working, Eastern board officers, Western board officers, boards and Oaks, to the people arranging school camps. Even today, the school camp started off today, and I hear the feedback is good in the 6 school camps. Little did we think we'd have that activity as well a couple of weeks back. But I suppose a special word, I think, and thanks. We're so proud and humbled by all of the work that has been done the last 4 months by everybody in the club scene in Waterford, and everything that they've done across the county and indeed the city for their clubs, helping out in this pandemic, that has really hurt so many people in so many different ways. And, again, I suppose a special thanks to the club supervisors, the COVID supervisors as they're being called now, and everything that's went with it, the health questionnaires and temperature checks and whatever. So it's a different world we're living in. But yeah, we're glad to be back. A couple of weeks back we thought we'd have no action whatsoever, and that was very hard to take for lots of people. But now the fact that we're, a couple of weeks away from county finals and stuff, and maybe inter-county matches, who would have thought that? But between now and then we have the divisional board games went off okay over the weekend, I believe. I was at a few of them, so it looked well. And the senior championship is starting this weekend. And again, even while we were down, we had to even change the championship structures, but here we are and we're ready to go. And I'd like to just again reiterate and to thank everybody that have helped in so many ways to get us to where we are.
Absolutely lovely a note to start on, really. And I know from being around to a few club visits there and that over the last while, Sean, and being back with my own club as well, I think we'll all appreciate the GA that bit more now. And I suppose we'll never complain again about maybe being out 3 or 4 nights a week, be it training juveniles or playing ourselves as well. That I suppose we won't take it for granted again.
No, that's it. And again, the last couple of weeks since we were allowed to go back into the club grounds, I mean, it was an awful time to be passing your club grounds and not being able to go in and stuff like that. And you have your own children with you and kids and whatever and families. It's so difficult, you know what I mean? And I the same way as everybody else, you know what I mean? You were trying to get to your club ground, but you couldn't get to your club ground. And so the buzz of activity that has been around in the club grounds over the last couple of weeks has absolutely been so uplifting. It's really all we do. It is community based. It is voluntary based. That's the very important to think of as well. We're so wrapped up in our day-to-day activities, and it's very stressful in the economy and the pandemic that we're in. But to be doing this then on a voluntary basis after that for everybody within the community, it is brilliant. But what a hype of activity we've had over the last couple of weeks in the club training grounds. It's absolutely brilliant to see, Gavin. It really is.
Absolutely. It's certainly back alive and kicking, and I know various teams back as well. Even trying to get a slot on various pitches as well is proven hard. But look, everything is going off according to plan, thankfully. And Sean, obviously, as mentioned there, it kicks off on Friday night, the Senior Hurling Championship. Ballygunner, it's hard to believe even saying they're going for 7 in a row. They're taking on Tallow Friday night, and I suppose they remain the team to beat, I suppose, in the 2020 Championship, the Gunners.
Yeah, you would. you'd say that from the outside, but you know what? It's a different championship now. It's going to be all done and dusted in a very short period of time. So it could be the championship that will, that somebody new might come to the fore, and that would be obviously great for everybody, probably outside of Ballygunner. But again, it's an amazing feat that they're going for in modern day hurling that we have. But again, I'd like to wish all the clubs that are in action over the coming weeks, you know what I mean, and both divisional and eastern and county competitions, all the very, very best of luck, and it is going to be difficult that after maybe one or two games you're out again, but I don't see anybody complaining about that. Everybody's just so happy to get back into the championships, and there's so many protocols that we've seen, there's so many guidelines that we've seen, so to be trying to do all of that and do it right and putting our best foot forward as we can as volunteers, and then we have these matches to look forward to. But so it could be Ballygunner's year again, but you never know. It's a short window, it's a short championship this year, so you just never know, Gavin.
Absolutely, and the games are coming thick and fast as well, and a big occasion as well, Sean, on Saturday night for Ballysaggart, who are going to be playing senior hurling for the very first time in their history, and a big challenge taken on De La Salle, and that's one to look forward to as well. And great, I suppose, to see such a small rural community and club as passionate as Ballysaggart, back in the top flight.
It's brilliant. It really is brilliant, you know what I mean? And look, there's a story there in itself that has been spoken about now for the last couple of years with Ballysaggart's run through the grades and, what they're doing out there in the community. It's just brilliant. So wish everybody the best. But Ballygunner, or Ballysaggart, I would say, it kind of is a bit of a special story to be up in the senior ranks for such a small area. And you mentioned the the Ballygunners as well, the clubs. So to have both of those clubs in the senior championship, it's David and Goliath, some people might say. But look, it's brilliant. It's brilliant to see. And again, fair play to Ballysaggart. They're working very, very hard over the last couple of years in that area, in that community for the GA World.
Absolutely, I certainly love their hurling up there as well, Sean. There's no doubt about that. And on Sunday then we've Mount St. Clonee at 2 o'clock, and then the action concludes at 6:30 in Fairfield with Dungarvan and 4 Mile Water. We'll be delving into the fixtures a little bit later on during the week. So Sean, obviously, as we know, the crowds are going to be restricted for the weekend. You might give them maybe an outline first of all of the protocols that you will have in place at these venues at the weekend, both Fairfield and Welsh Park.
Yeah, I suppose without going through the protocols in any great detail, Gavin, I suppose, look, they're out in the media, they're out in the public domain. They've gone to the clubs direct from Croke Park, some of them, and some of them from our own county CEO. So the clubs are well and truly briefed, I suppose, with the protocols that are there. And it's hard to say we're talking about protocols for matches. It's a changing and challenging time. It's extremely stressful, and I mean, from a county board officer's point of view as well, we were planning with attendances to go up there last Monday or today, where attendances were to go up, and we really got a kick in the stomach. So it felt like, last Wednesday when it was said no, it's going to stay at 200, and that's been felt all over the country in every club and every county board, and it's really not where we want to be. It has really been, I suppose, upsetting and frustrating. But again, there's a pandemic out there, and you can see there's bigger, there's some people have job cuts and hard livelihoods are being struggling. So it is games at the end of the day, and it is our hobby. But it doesn't make it any easier. It doesn't make it any easier, Gavin. And the protocols are going to be there. And all I would ask for, I think, and all the officers would ask for, that we really get one last, they've been absolutely brilliant. The public has been so brilliant, the communities and the clubs, just to try and do the right thing, that everybody adhere to the protocols. If you don't have a ticket, not to go to the match because of the crowd restrictions that we have in place. And then when you are in the ground, to adhere to, take personal responsibility, help the stewards, help the officers, help the people that are there on the gates and on the pitch side, the linesmen, the referees, and everybody, to help everybody really is adhering to the social distancing and all the protocols that we've come so used to now over the last couple of months. That's really, I suppose, what I'd appeal to, that if everybody, help each other out and don't try and, go to the games if you don't have a ticket, because we don't want to be turning people away. But unfortunately, that's the situation that we will be in. We will be people away if you don't have tickets,
Okay, absolutely. Yeah, thanks for summing that up nicely there, Sean. Now, I suppose on that, we know the crowd is going to be restricted, but I believe you do have some good news that yourselves and the county board have teamed up with your good friends out there in Nemeton and on Rhine, of course, for some live streaming of some of the matches, Sean, the group stages and right through then as well to the knockout stages as well, even.
Yeah, it's That's right, Gavin, and delighted. Really are delighted. You mentioned it there, Nemeton. Yeah, Waterford GA. We are embarking on a kind of a partnership approach with streaming for the remainder of this year. We're going to look at as many matches as we possibly can. Obviously, there's a lot of work has to go into what matches you can and can't get in, and so on and so forth. But streaming is a hugely positive step. It really is. And the fact that there's so many people friends and families that are away, and because of abroad in other countries, that now you can let them know that there's games going to be streamed, and they can log on and see their family members playing matches maybe, or something like that, nieces, nephews, or whatever. And equally on top of that, the people that can't go because of the crowd controls and the restrictions that are in place, you can also, we're looking after and catering from them. And the fact that we've Nemeton, a Waterford-based company out in Ring, GA people, unbelievable work has been done out there. And, I'd like to thank Kieran McMurrough and his whole team out in Nemeton, who've been very supportive of us once we approached each other, and we worked on it over the last couple of weeks, and I'd like to thank the officers of the county board for that as well. So we're really looking forward to it. And for the first 3 weekends, Gavin, of the group stages, we're going to be streaming nine matches. We have a launch in Nemeton actually tomorrow, so you're getting the news ahead of time. We're going to be streaming 9 games. I can give them to you if you wish. I'm not sure how much time you have.
Yeah, if you want to, maybe flake through them there, Sean.
It's a huge. Yeah, it's hugely positive, and all I'd be saying is everybody now it will help with the restriction crowds, that people now can see the game. And again, going back to Nemeton, the production that they're going to produce, as everybody knows, Loch McGales, and they're professional, absolutely best in the GA streaming and television and productions. So we're definitely getting the best, and the fact that they're a Waterford company is really nice to see. But I'd be asking everybody to promote, and again, I thank WLR for the promotion so far and helping out on everything. But social media, club social media, your Twitters, your Facebook, let everybody know that these games are on streaming, So do you want me to give them to you there, Gavin?
If you have them there offhand, Sean, yeah, absolutely, yeah, I think we'd be keen to find out. And again, thanks to yourselves and to Ariel and all in Nemeton as well. It's brilliant that we can, I suppose that you can produce these features as well, and bring the games, I suppose, to people who can't get in.
Yeah, and again, look, it's a new venture. We hope it will go well. Obviously, it's a first. It's a kind of historic in a way, but we're trying to put our best foot forward again, and I do believe that it will be a success. So look, the games we're starting with, actually, would you believe it, the first 3 game for Waterford will be Ballygunner versus Tallow. Then you have this weekend, you'll have De La Salle and Ballysaggart. You will have Mount Sion and Clonea, and you'll have Dungarvan and 4 Mile Water. So that's this weekend's games of streaming that's going to be looked after. And again, a lot of work going into it. So again, looking forward to it, and hopefully people will enjoy the experience. The following week games then, Gavin, we just have one down. It's Abbeyside and Ballysaggart. And then on the last week, which will be the important week, I suppose, you're into the third round of senior hurling matches. We're going, we're going to have De La Salle and Abbeyside. You're going to have Ballygunner and Passage. You're going to have Mount Sion and Roanmore, and you're going to have Dungarvan and Lismore. Again, these will be well advertised in advance, so for people that missed them there now, it will be well advertised on the Waterford website and obviously on the local papers and stuff, and yourselves as well. And again, I'd just like to ask everybody to promote it as best they can to their family and friends that can't go to the matches. Hey, don't forget you can do streaming, and you can log on and you can see the game. And the good thing about it is what we've worked on. Every club in the senior championship is going to be have a game that's going to be streamed in the first 3 weeks. So every club is going to be looked after as best we can there as well.
Absolutely, yeah, that's super indeed, and thanks for giving us those as well. A first-hand insight. I know you've the launch in Nemeton tomorrow evening as well, so an exciting couple of weeks, Sean, to do a wrap on it. Then it's it's going to be a quickly ran off championship, but it is good to have GA back, and that feel good factor is back in communities, I suppose, with pitches reopened and that. And I know from your point of view, you're leaving no stone unturned. A lot of preparation gone in, and touch wood, everything goes off well now the weekend, and you're looking forward to it, no doubt.
Looking forward to it, Gavin. And again, I'd like to finish by thanking everybody in the GA community, both clubs, underage, juveniles. Everybody has been, we've been starved of it now over the last couple of months, and the fact that we can do it. We don't want to be going backwards, So I know the government and phases and the pandemic and whatever. We have the dates. We're trying to work to them. We're trying to put our best foot forward. I'd ask and appeal to everybody to go with the restrictions, as tough as they are. Myself included, we don't like them. As tough as they are, but we've no no choice, you know what I mean? And, you know, there has been clubs that have tested positive in certain counties, you know, Derry, Carlow and Beach and a few others and whatever, but obviously we don't want that in Waterford. Really, really looking forward to the games, really looking forward to seeing people and meeting people out and about at the club grounds in both Welsh Park and Farfield and all the club facilities as well out there. And I wish everybody all the very best and looking forward to meeting people, like I said.
Great stuff, lovely note to end on. Sean Michael O Regan, Cathaoirleach of Waterford GA. Many thanks for taking our call this evening, and look, we'll catch up with you there over the weekend.
No problem, Kevin. Thank you very much.